So we're going to be looking at some charts and seeing how we are ending the week. There won't be any trading tomorrow. We're just going to look at some charts, do some analysis, and see how this week is going to end, and see where to begin on Monday. Yeah, there's a lot taking place in Europe, especially with Ukraine and Russia. And yeah, the way things are going to be negotiated over the weekend will definitely have a very heavy market impact on all these charts. So we might have some reversals, we might have some, some trends continuing in a very unlikely way. But yeah, that's what anyway happens with all these fundamental events. If you've noticed, a lot of technical analysis hasn't really been going the way people expected it to go ever since this war began. Because once the markets follow what's taking place in the world. Yeah, so if you've invested in any instruments that are somehow connected to maybe our own politics or whatever, you realize that you make your money based on what happens in the country, not because there is a certain pattern in the chart that shows you that there's going to be an improvement in the next 5 months or whatever. So what happens on ground, it really affects what's happening in all these instruments, in all these, all the stock companies that we invest in. Basically, all the instruments, all the underlying instruments in all these financial markets. So whatever happens with them physically is what causes the price to change, and that's where you get your profit and your loss. So yeah, you just realize how much of your life is actually part of the financial markets. A very big chunk of everyone's life is inside these, the capital markets of Uganda. So understanding how you're connected to them is very, very important. If you remain stagnant, not doing anything about it, yeah, there are some disadvantages to that. Obviously, you will discover that. But taking part and trying to get involved in what's happening in the stock market, in all these markets, it's very, very good for all of us. So yeah, some days from now we're going to be looking at how we are already involved, unknowingly, and how we can get involved in a voluntary way, and how we can all benefit from what we have at our disposal here in Uganda, because all these organizations are there to grow the country, to grow our lives, and take us out of all these situations that we're in. So we're going to be looking at all that, how you can invest your money in these long-term investment organizations, to earn some passive income. Passive income is almost risk-free, and it's very, very good money for financial growth. So you're going to be part of all that. You can be part of it voluntarily, or you can see how you're already involved in it in a way that you're not really earning from it. But everything is connected somehow. We are all connected to everything that happens in this country, and you can benefit from the connection, or you might stay out of it. But as far as this program goes, I will really be ensuring that I give you some encouragement and a lot of information so that you know how you can benefit instead of having money just sitting there somewhere. This money could be earning you a profit on a daily basis, a profit that you can track on a daily basis, and that will be very good for you, for your children, and for the future. These days people fear to produce children because of the economic situation. So many young men are out there, they are moving at night, you don't even know where they are from, but they don't come with kids, because times are tough, it's hard to produce kids because of the financial situation. But if you have an assured fund, that you can, even if you produce your kid, kids take about 10 years to actually really grow. So yeah, you can save, put some money there for a child, and you have a target at the end of the day, yeah, of how much money you will want for this child when they clock 10 years. And yeah, that fund can actually pay for their fees and so many things. So the child will just be there learning how to walk and whatever, but that child will be already making money, yeah, securing their education and their future. Yeah, so yeah, that is as far as children go. So there are plans for everyone and whatever you want, and you can benefit so much from all that. It takes away a lot of stress knowing that there is something already going on. There's an organization that is not going to sleep because they have to ensure that you make your money, yeah, and your child's future is secure. Yeah, so that is just one example. There are so many. We shall be looking at them. With so many organizations, we'll be looking at so many ways you can, you can have that kind of coverage for your family, for yourself, yeah, so that the stress will go away. Yeah, and most times in these financial talks, people never talk about stress and human nature and how people behave. But it's very important to know that when you have stress, you'll start going for short-term money-making ventures, which are very risky, and you can lose a lot of money like that. But once you know that your kid is secure, and you don't have to go and hustle around for that kid, you can actually come up with a better business plan that you're going to work on maybe for a period of 2 years or 3 years, instead of looking at a very short-term goal of about 2 months. And you might even start a very nice business, but because you haven't made a good profit in 3 months, you will close it. Yet, 8 months down the road, you could have had very, very good prospects. But that's because the short term wasn't very good. You will pull out all your investment and you will miss out on all that other money that you could have made simply because you have stress and you need money, and you need money right now. But yeah, so all these investment plans and savings plans, and you can earn your money steadily over a long period of time with a very, very low risk. And that is something good for every Ugandan. If that stress goes away, if you know school is catered for, if you know hospital bills are catered for somehow, and even your money for you to enjoy, maybe you're working very steadily and maybe you have a plan for 5 years down the road. You want to go and do something, you can have a savings plan for that, and that money will be given to you at that time when you need it, and you can go ahead and do whatever you want instead of hustling it out. So all these things provide stability in our minds and in how we work, and we financially grow. Yeah? So that passive income that is very, very low risk or even no risk at all, it will really help every one of us to grow. Yeah? So yeah, we shall be looking at all that. These coming days, there's going to be a lot of information regarding that, and you can choose what to invest in. You can choose where to put some money and just let it grow, and it will be very good for anyone. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you can even do that plan for a child who is not yet born, then there are no limitations on who can actually save. Anyone can benefit from all these services that are there, and they're all good for us, for literally everyone. So many things will come down, like crime rate and all that. People who are hustling to get some small food, people who are doing crime for small food, all that can really come down, and so many changes will take place in a very short period of time. Yeah, so let's move on to the charts. Let's take a look at this app first of all and see what is buying, what is selling. USD JPY obviously buying with a lot of a strong buy there, but it could be at a point of reversal. It's very, very possible. The Australian dollar versus the US dollar, it's also seriously buying. Let's take a look at the chart here. Okay, let's first take a look at this USD CHF, this triangle that we have been looking at for quite some time. Yeah. So this USD CHF, this week's candlestick really moved up almost with a 50.0, and It's now down below the funds, below the 50 point, sorry, before the 38 point, the 50.0 fund. That's where it is right now. But we already have price movement up there, and yeah, the main reason for that bounce could be, let me just drag this a little bit. Okay, the main reason could be this point of support where this triangular formation began, which is not bad. So price has been, okay, let me take it to the body of these candlesticks, the body, this one. Yeah, so price was seriously resisted up there, and it has moved back downwards, but we already have positive price movement up there, and this will be our candlestick for the close of this week. So this week is going to close with a candlestick, first of all, above the 38.2, and so this 38.2 of the Fibonacci retracement levels, and below the 50.0. But most important of all, we have this break that we are going to confirm this week. A new candlestick has opened and closed above this triangular formation, and we have a long tail moving upwards, which gives us some confidence that prices will continue moving upwards. And yeah, so in the following week we shall have a new candlestick there, which we shall follow moving upwards, and we can start counting our pips from there. So this 50.0, okay, the 38.2 was the clear point of resistance down here, and that point has been broken. Unless if this candlestick somehow, by some magic, if this candlestick moves above, if it moves down below this 38.2, that will be a real shock. By the end of today, if it moves down below, then we shall have to wait for another break. But chances are that it's going to close really somewhere above here, and then we can continue with that upward movement, and that will be very, very good for this, for this long-term buy, on the USD CHF. So that is a good chart right there that we can follow up. So the other charts which are there, the Euro USD of that resistance, I think this one is in a 4-hour chart. Yeah. Okay, that's a daily chart. So we're having some kind of prices have bounced off this previous point of support that has now become a resistance. Yeah, so for this one here, maybe, this is a 4-hour chart. On Monday, just depending on what happens during the weekend, there might be talks between Russia and Ukraine. There might be some talks talking about the war and everything. But looking at this current price movement, if we're going to have prices moving back downwards, we have to look for a reason to buy or a reason to sell. So a good reason to buy would be, based on price action, it would be this previous low point being tested by this high point there. So that could be a very big bounce that will take you downwards, and if you're going to take that one seriously, this can be your point of reversal there. So you look for areas to confirm that prices are really moving downwards, and this area of support is one place to break. So once you have a break at this point, if prices come down below and break that point of support, then we can continue selling downwards. But then if we wake up on Monday and prices are somehow up there, then we might have an upward trend caused by a fundamental event over the weekend. There's nothing we can really do about that. But we're looking at these 2 points. If we have prices moving upwards, then we can continue buying. If these prices break below Then we continue selling and head for those low points that are below there. So this is the GBP Canada. So yesterday, that event affecting the pound, it affected every currency pair that has the GBP within. Yeah, and it was really affected negatively. So all these charts really fell yesterday. You know, there are so many pips, especially in this one here. They're about 141 pips. Okay, like 130 pips maximum in that fall following yesterday's events, which was, I could have made a lot of money from there. Yeah, so for this one here, the previous price movement was based on this divergence. We had that good upward movement, and yeah, that one brought it down, and prices have moved. The recovery price movement was just somehow to the midpoint of that long candlestick. That's a 15-minute chart. Yeah, you know, which is okay anyway. But now prices are down here and back to this point of support. So for this GBP Canada, prices at this support level there. So if we're, this is in a 1 hour chart, so if we're to expect on Monday to continue selling, prices have to really break that point of support down there, you know, when we have some good strength in the RSI. And if we're to buy, we have to break this point because by the time this that event happened, you know, the prices were moving in some bullish format, and now we had that you know, that fundamental event that brought this downwards. And if we're to buy, we really have to start buying above there, and waiting for that to happen will be, yeah, that will be another thing to wait for, but it's worth it. It's worth waiting for the price to move up there, and you continue making some profit as the prices move up. Euro CHF. Okay, this one we are going to skip it. Don't really want to skip it, but let's take a quick look at it. Okay, this is in a 4 hour chart. This one we're looking at it, trying to break some levels. There are too many Fibonacci retracement levels in this one. Let me close out this very big one and remain with this small one. Okay, so this one, we had this drop so many days back, and these Fibonacci retracement levels were drawn. Let me move them a little bit to the body of that. So we had that big drop, and then prices started rising, especially when Europe started recovering from the looks of all their speeches and the decisions they were taking within the European Central Bank, and so many other events that were there on the economic calendar. So prices were moving upwards for the euro, and then this one was deemed as a point of reversal, because prices started moving up from that point. So these Fibonacci retracement levels are what we've been following, and now we are slightly above the 61.8, which is normally the highest point that we can go to, and now the RSI is overbought at that level. So this might be a point to start either buying or selling, to continue buying or selling. So if we're going to buy, if we're going to sell, first of all, price being at this the RSI being at this overbought position, this could easily give us a reversal, very, very easily. If we draw a trend line from this top, following all these other tops, we have the prices moving, okay, in that way. So we had this as a previous point of resistance moving downwards. There was a small jump there, some good correction, but yeah, so we had prices moving following this trend line moving downwards. So when the price started moving upwards towards this trend line, we didn't really have resistance, but then it broke through, perfect break, and price started being supported on that same trend line and started moving upwards. So so the thing to do there is follow some, so this could be the reversal which we drew, and now price at the 61.8, which is the farthest it can actually go. So I'm going to add some of these Fibonacci funds to guide us on these levels. So those price being resisted there at the 38.2, and it broke through, went to the 50.0, where it is being supported there. So we could look at price heading further above that 61.8, or it will be seriously resisted there, and that could give us a new point of a new reason to sell. So we have price now. The support line is at 50.0 Fibonacci fan, and the point of resistance is at 61.8 Fibonacci fan. So if we are going to buy on this Euro CHF, we expect price, and this is a 4-hour chart, so that will be next week, Monday or Tuesday. So if prices break this 61.8, if we have this serious break up there, then we can buy. We can continue buying, because the euro, it could be in this recovery state following all the fundamental events. So we could buy above this 61.8, and if we are to sell, if price breaks below this 50.0 fan, then it will move to the 23.6 retracement level. There we shall have good reason to start selling this particular chart, and we can collect pips moving downwards, maybe to this 61.8. And if we're to continue buying upwards, the area of caution will be at that very top, that top resistance there. So from this level, if we sell to the 61.8, they are about 220 pips. And if we buy, we have another, okay, they're almost the same. It's almost equivalent. Let me get an actual number. Let's say 220 pips, and up here it's about 230 pips. So it's almost it's almost equivalent, but this one is in a 4-hour chart. There are a few more candlesticks we have to the end of the day. There are a few candlesticks after the end of the day, and yeah, there could be some good price movement, though it might not be very predictable, especially for this Euro CHF. But we're going to look at it on Monday and see how far we have progressed, so that we get a, we get a nice, we get a good point to start from. So for buying, maybe somewhere above there, this is a very good area of resistance. We can buy from above that point and probably take 150 pips, and selling will be below this 23.6 there, and we can sell up to this 61.8, about another 150 pips. So yeah, waiting for that will really be golden. The results from that will be quite good, and there will be so many other areas along the way from which we can put some caution. Shouldn't trade beyond certain places because of the risk involved. Okay, I think this one is a USD CHF. It was very, very bullish previously, and now it's back to this 38.2 area. So we drew these lines, to give us some kind of guidance on how this chart was moving, and yeah, so we are now back to being supported there, and if that's an area of resistance as well, can put the retracement levels there from the very bottom to the top, and look at how prices are moving. So this one here is just being somehow resisted at the 23.6. And if it breaks these funds, we can continue trading below there, and you make some good money from that. This USD CHF is a very confusing chart for so many people, but it's okay. Some proper analysis there can give you some good price movement, and you can make some good money from it. Let's just look at the RSI on that chart and see if we actually have some kind of it looks like a reversal. We have an overbought RSI there. We have this price moving downwards. That's okay. So if we are to continue buying here, we shall really need price to break above this point of support, and we shall move upwards. So that's the last chart for today. So you can have so many of these charts here, in any other instruments that you trade locally, or that you trade, if you're trading these foreign markets. It's important to look at the charts and you find some patterns that make sense over a long period of time, and you can easily predict if you're having prices moving upwards, or your profits going up, or your profits moving down. It's good to understand why those things happen, and we shall look at so much of that, especially with our local markets. There shall be some reports coming in explaining why your curve is moving up, why it's moving down, and you'll understand exactly what's happening in the market, and you will follow up on your investments, on your savings plans, and it will be quite interesting to follow up on how your money is actually coming in, and just keeping track of everything that you've really planned out for a long period of time. So I think that's it for today. Have a good weekend. Have a good day if you're going to continue trading throughout the night to the market close. I really wish you the best. So happy trading. There are some good events on the economic calendar. You can take a look at them and follow them up and see how you can benefit from each one of them. There are some good high impact events still left. So have a good weekend. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Smart 24, driving business.
Every new day brings new opportunities for you to conquer the business world.
Start your day with the show that drives your business.
Be the first to know the latest prices around town, the latest business information around the country and the world.
We bring you in-depth analysis with exclusive interviews from your key players.
And of course, wouldn't you want that for your morning? Get up to speed with what is trending in the business world, all in one morning show. Smart Means Business with your favorite guy, Jorum Post Sonko
and Rita Cavanyaro.
Every weekdays, Mondays to Friday from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
as we drive you into the business world. This is Smart 24.
Smart